Okay, so we have this whole GCN sponsored nutrition, the SIS controversy debacle, the scandal. Restrict, restrict, restrict. Suck the fun out of cycling. Restrict, restrict, restrict. As Eat Plant said, that was a good quote. Restrict your calories, restrict your carbs, restrict your carbs, restrict your carbs. Run on stimulants, take a little bit of whey protein, and suck the fun out of cycling. That's exactly what happens when you don't have a carbohydrate. Anyway, so we've got 5312.com. This is Dr. Ferrari. A lot of you guys out there who watch GCN videos don't have any idea who Dr. Ferrari is. Dr. Ferrari would be the best cycling coach that involves doping on the planet. And if you want to be a good coach to get riders to that level, Lance Armstrong level, then you've got to have some pharmacology knowledge, because it's all about red blood cells, and you've got to have that high red blood cell count. Anyway, so Dr. Ferrari, the world's best at top level performance, states that 10 grams of carbs per kilo body weight is a good start. And the best quote here is, I could often notice during training camps or stage races, even well-known professional cyclists, that athletes were not taking enough carbohydrates to regenerate glycogen stores in previous efforts. And he's got a whole chapter here. He doesn't have a chapter about, make sure you eat enough protein or make sure you eat enough fat. He's like, make sure you eat enough carbohydrates, and that's his biggest thing. And that's the biggest thing I notice as well. So I think that I would say people take EPO, corticosteroids, stimulants, tramadol, all these things in excess when they could just eat more carbohydrates. Because if you don't have enough carbohydrates in your body, your legs will ache more. Your legs will ache more, so you'll need more tramadol or more corticosteroids. If you don't have enough carbohydrates, you won't have that well-being, so you need more Canacort. And we see, the SIS guy, he should have done a discussion about corticosteroid controversy at Team Sky, because there can't be any discussion about performance without talking about pharmacology, pharmaceutical product. So, there has to be that discussion. If we want full transparency, that we have to have that discussion. But GCN can't go there because there's financial repercussions for that. They're sponsored. It's an advert. You basically watch a 5-minute, 10-minute advert by SIS or whoever's sponsoring the team at that time. And you got the Muppet, that guy, jargon. He's like, what do you say about something umbrella or something? He's just like the jargon expert, man. That dude was rattling off jargon at 7 watts per kilo. You know what I mean? He could do 7 watts per kilo jargon for 30 minutes after 3 weeks of bullshitting and infomercials. The dude is slick with his words. But that's the reality, mate. Dr. Ferrari, final word. I'm going to trust Dr. Ferrari's advice over some paid advert. The dude's, you can make it rain to that guy. He'll promote anything. Dr. Ferrari, no. This is the real science. 10 grams of carbs per kilo body weight per day, and go up or down from there. So that's what I base my advice on. Dr. Ferrari's advice when it comes to performance, because I want performance without the EPO, etc. I just want natural performance. And hey, I'm not out there doing the Tour de France, obviously, so I don't need to take the pharmaceuticals. But in my opinion, it is impossible to win any big race today without having a good doctor. And that's why you need a good doctor, good hookup, because it's just too hard, man. It's too hard to do it natural. The expectations of the sponsors and the fans. The fans want to see you do Ventoux or, Col de Glandon or Tourmalet or the Mortarolo or the Stelvio at fucking, at crazy wattages, man. You can't do that naturally. So you just have to go into that, that, not the dark side, but the pharmaceutical side, and dabble. And you'll dabble and dip as much as you want. Depends what your goal is, but that's just the reality of professional sport. And if you don't want to do that, then you're in the wrong job. You're in the wrong job, and it's just wrong to criticize the riders who do take that choice, because that's what you have to do. And if you don't want to do it, then don't be a pro. And that's why you'll see a lot of pro riders, they just retire or whatever, and go, fuck, I can't do this no more. Because the level's so hard today. It's way harder than the Lance Armstrong era. You look at the times they're doing, like the watts per kilo. They're just holding wattages all stage. They're controlling the race more. Back in the day with Lance, they'd be like, they're sitting around eating. Remember that? Simone's like eating grapes and shit, just chilling around, picking grapes off the road and stuff. Like, it's the racing's so much harder now. Everyone's got power meters and stuff like that, so they know how to pace it, and it's just the wattages are high. Look on Strava, man. They're banging out the numbers. Anyway, so that's Dr. Ferrari versus GCN. Leave your comments and criticisms down below. I think GCN should stick with. The only thing that I really trust in GCN now is when they give bicycle mechanical tips, like how to change your cables. Because when they do a bike review or whatever, it's like, I mean, they're paid by Orbea or Trek or Shimano or SRAM or whatever. And it's, when you're getting paid for something, then in my opinion, it loses that innocence. Now it becomes very corporate. I understand that's how the world works. I get it. But I think GCN should stick with the helpful videos or the interviews. But even the interviews are just like, just shallow stuff. The best one is the bike tips, the handling tips. That's the real deal, legit stuff, non-sponsored. That's my thoughts and criticisms. Leave yours down below. And go vegan, motherfuckers. I mean, we can't have any discussion about performance. I mean, why the fuck would be people eating bacon and eggs and shit, drinking oil, and then trying to save 30 grams off their frame? It's like, stop eating the body fat of animals. Stop eating like a bodybuilder if you're going to be light and fast up the climbs or have more power in the sprint. Because every few kilos you got more in the sprint is dead weight. It's dead weight, bruh. So we want to stream it down, but we don't want to starve, get down to a natural body weight, and go like fuck.